All right, we're live. We're here. It's Friday.
What is this? No intro, no videos, no nothing.
There's an intro. We just played an intro. Okay. What do you want? What do you want? The right cover roll that we have new merch. We'll talk about merch. No. All right. So back to Baldwin. Apparently, a couple things have gone down.
What?
That's what I hear. I don't know. Hear that
gift that keeps on giving, Eric. This is going to take decades to resolve.
Well, you know that we're going to be, I think October 21st marks the anniversary of the incident.
Well, October 27th is the trial hearing for Mamie Mitchell, the script supervisor, half a mile from my house. So I'm going to try to meander over there and see what's going on in that hearing at the Stanley Moss Courthouse here in Los Angeles, downtown LA.
How the hell did she pull that off? Because didn't you say it's a 5-year backlog?
I have no idea. Well, they're hearings. It's not the trial. Hearings, you can have hearings for 5 years. I had 1 million hearings in cases, took 5 years to go to trial.
Okay. So
and this basically this could be the same thing because it's a year after, that's 1 year is gone. They can have hearings for another year. You know what I mean? The trial is tentatively slated on, I looked at the thing the other day for May of 2023, but that's never going to happen.
Crazy. Okay. I'm wondering still that it seems pretty fast since there's nobody else. I mean, I think Serge had put in a suit before then. All the New Mexico stuff is still pending out there. Right. And I mean, is that a Gloria Allred?
Yeah, I mean, that's Gloria Allred. I mean, he doesn't have Gloria Allred. I mean, he's not a woman who's suffering from PTSD or deafness from the gunshot that she wasn't happy with. You know.
Yeah. Instead, he lost his very dear friend, and
that doesn't add up.
Horrible circumstances, and really is suffering. We don't count that, I guess.
No, but I mean, it depends which attorney he's got. I mean, she knows a lot of people in town, so. But still, I think it's going to take years for that case. I think that the one in Santa Fe is going to be faster, based on what we're reading. I mean, this emergency declaration by the DA to get money. If you read through the letter, which I'll post on Locals, the letter, the DA to the legislature requesting the $650,000 for the immediate trial, she got 337 immediately. So if you read the letter, she says we're ready to go. This is it. You know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Okay, you and I talked about this offline. And I was saying, okay, why is she suddenly very interested in moving forward? And why is it she only named one name specifically, Alec Baldwin? And then I was saying, well, it doesn't make sense because one, she's got the Soros money, and two, she's midterm. So it's not like she's running for re-election or votes or anything. But then a little birdie told me that she may be running for Attorney General of New Mexico.
What? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This is really getting weird. Okay, this is Chinatown now. Now we got some political intrigue. He wants to take over the whole state of New Mexico, Soros.
Apparently, and maybe that means that our friend Mr. Baldwin has fallen out from the Clintons and friends. I don't know, but
wow, that's kind of interesting. I mean, he is kind of zoomed in on law enforcement, Soros, to his credit as a Machiavellian maniac. He has found an Achilles heel in our democracy where obviously there's been gentlemen agreements, in terms of court cases with attorney generals and DAs, for over a century. But this is now being manipulated to the point of socialist prison reform and crazy crap, where the guy in Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia guy, is now, just bragging that he's letting all these people out and the murder rate is high and, they're raping and pillaging stores. I mean, this guy Krasner is public enemy number one in Pennsylvania.
Well, you got one of your own, Gascon, right? You can't even get him.
Yeah, I don't have to look at Philadelphia. I don't have to go that far east, but I'm saying the success of Soros and his son, Alexander, who's public enemy number one. Soros, the old man, is probably not as effective as Alexander. But the damage that they've done to democracy, capitalism, the American way of life, based on just a handful of money and a couple
Bingo.
of right. It's not
this
that
guy
much.
knows. This guy knows how to make money.
He found
the
Achilles heel of the American system, and that's through these DAs in places like Santa Fe. And now, as they're getting outed, they're going to step up to attorney general. And
it's cheap. It's cheap. I mean, DAs were cheap to get elected. If you look at out of all the positions that have a great deal of power,
too, Eric, Secretary of State is another vulnerable one that nobody saw coming.
Well, because nobody pays. It's like nobody really pays attention. I don't think they always run opposed that often. And even if they do, their ad budgets aren't that high. I mean, not compared to like a senator or a governor who can get national attention. Some DA in Santa Fe, who knows? Well,
have you seen the budget, by the way, that she's requesting and what she needs the money for? The DA?
Well, she wanted 600 and some odd thousand for up to 4 suspects, and they gave her, I think, 338.
Well, I've got the whole budget here. She breaks it down. Expert witnesses, 3 of them, $75,000 apiece for $225,000. Paralegal, 50 hours. That's $39,000. An investigator, 75 hours, $97,500 for an outside investigator. And in the letter, she says basically she doesn't have time for this. She says if she has to, I swear to God, I mean, it's not even that cloudy. She says if we have to investigate this case, she can't run the DA's office. She needs an entire outside industry to come in and run this case, a special prosecutor, an investigator, expert witnesses, attorneys, because she says if she does this with her staff, that regular lowly criminals will get away and the safety of the state of New Mexico will be in jeopardy. You can't make this up.
No, it's pretty slick if you think about it. Because
it's very
obviously slick. Look at the dude she let off. What was it within the past couple of years that you dug up? I mean, she's so busy trying to make sure that those guys are getting off and letting them go. She can't be wasting her time actually going after a case.
Right. She says that it would really put us all in jeopardy. They don't have the budget for this. She has to get it now. She couldn't get it before. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And they did give her the money. So, I mean, obviously she's ready to go. And you want to talk about, this is the craziest wording of anything I've ever read. This is her statement about the 4, because we talked about this offline, who the 4 were, whether Baldwin's one of the 4, whether it's Sarah Zachary, whether it's Reed, whether it's Halls, because there seems to be 5 in a game of musical chairs where there's only 4 seats. So somebody's the odd man out. It could be Baldwin. It could be
no. It's Baldwin. Baldwin's in because she named him explicitly.
Let me read you the mealy mouth statement so you can interpret it as you will, because that's not exactly true. Okay, here's her full statement from the DA of Santa Fe. It's become apparent. Now think about the word apparent. That we will be potentially, not apparent, potentially charging. Now we're going to get into it. No, dude, this statement is great. It's become apparent to who I don't know that we will be potentially charging between 1 and 4 people with criminal charges, right? Okay. Then she adds, and each of these charges, whatever the hell they are, will probably include some variation of our homicide statutes. Now, dude, that is an incredibly mealy-mouthed statement after 1 year. 1 year. That's what, and the headlines all across the country was Baldwin linked to the 4 about to be indicted, right? But if you read between the lines, this is so vague. And now she's brought in a special prosecutor. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because she's out. This DA is out because of what you said. And it's brilliant what she's doing, because there's another angle to what she did, Eric. And I'm going to tell you the other angle of how Machiavellian this broad is. You ready for this? She has brought in a special prosecutor to handle this case. Now, there's a number of reasons why she's doing this. One, it gets her off the hook. Right. That's the obvious one. I never saw this coming. You and I, we talked about how she was a Soros appointee, how she would drop the charges against Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's too messy. That leaves paint on her hands. If she drops the charges against Baldwin and picks Seth Kinney or Halls or whatever, it's too muddy. She's got to get out completely. And that's why she's appointed a special prosecutor.
Ron Mueller, who can't find
I
anything.
did not see this coming. And you're right. She's going to run for attorney general and get herself out of this mess. Okay. Now, what happens? Why would she turn it over to a special prosecutor? Now it becomes obvious to get herself. And that's why she's been dragging this out for a freaking year to find a way for her to get out of this mess. Now, what does she do? She picks a special prosecutor. Now, what special prosecutor would want this case? Because they've got baggage. She picked a Republican special prosecutor.
Oh.
A Republican special prosecutor who's in the middle of a campaign running for the House of Representatives in New Mexico itself. You still listening? You still listening, Hunley? You're fascinated by it? This is a brilliant Chinatown Machiavellian LA Confidential move here, what this woman has done. Now she's picked this woman, Andrea Reeb, who I sent you the picture of, which is why here she is, Andrea Reeb. She is a former veteran district attorney out of Clovis, New Mexico, who's a conservative Republican running. After 15 years, she's running for public office in the House of Representatives, right? House of Representatives of the state of New Mexico, I should put out, right? Interstate. She is the special prosecutor for this case. Now, this woman is MAGA level conservative, right? And her and I have become intimate while you've been doing stuff. I don't know what you've been doing all week, but I've been becoming friends with the special prosecutor.
Really?
Oh, really? And she is great. Her career as a DA has been putting pedophiles and criminals in jail full term for over 15 to 20 years as a district attorney. Her record as a DA is fantastic. She is the anti-Soros DA. In a parallel universe in Clovis, New Mexico, this woman has quietly jailed all kinds of perverts, weasels, murderers, killers, everything for her whole career, getting them the full shot of their terms. Recently, I've uncovered some interesting, and I'll get into Andrea's thing in a second, because she's emailed me a statement about the case, Eric. Oh, yes. Oh, I got some bottles too, mother. Okay. I don't come in here empty-handed. I came here loaded for Baldwin Bear today.
Baldwin Bear.
Okay. So she broke. There's a case in New Mexico. I didn't even know this. You know about minor attracted persons?
Yes,
remember that? Okay. We all learned about minor attracted persons as another pedo pseudonym.
It's the new term. Ricada says something about them that we can't talk about because we'll get tossed.
Right. Okay. But we learned that the hard way by seeing videos of people professing that this is a new thing. There's another one in another case that she prosecuted down in Clovis called GSA relationships. Did you know about this?
No, I stay out of the coding of that.
Neither did I. Okay. That's called genetic sexual attraction, Eric. AKA incest.
Oh,
thank you. So this Andrea has prosecuted these cases, one in particular, which is even in the Daily Mail, and I'll post it after the show, where a mother gave her son up for adoption. She finds him later on at the age of 20 and gets into a sexual relationship with him. So the left is now endorsing this as bigotry if you're against incest. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. And the only reason I found out about this was doing some research into.
Let's not say the left. Let's just say the woke, because I'm going to specify because there are a lot of people on the left who'll be like, "Oh, this is disgusting too."
Well, it's as disgusting as the maps,
right, and that's that whole woke crowd and the trans.
Okay, but this is another one here. But this is one that the DA in Santa Fe would never prosecute, but Andrea has done that in Clovis. You know what I mean? So I'm saying the difference between the
Right.
anti-Soros. This is just an example.
This is a prosecutor. This is a legit prosecutor.
Exactly right.
That's what you have.
Now she's going to be up against Luke Nikes, right? So who's Luke Nikes? That's Baldwin's attorney from Quinn Emanuel. That's why the request for the money was so important by the DA out of Santa Fe, because they're going to need so much money, as she delineates in the budget, to go up against Baldwin's attorneys, which is what they're looking at. She also says there's going to be 4 trials, not even simultaneously. The 4 trials are going to be sequential. So it could be a trial for for Halls. It could be a trial for Reed. It could be a trial for Baldwin, overlapping one after another. And
they'll lead up to the main event type of thing.
Well, I don't know the order. I mean, the order will probably, be determined by how long they delay and how many expert witnesses they bring in and everything. But she's ready to go to the grand jury right now, the DA in Santa Fe. Okay. So Andrea Reeb, who is going to be the special prosecutor, wrote me, we've been emailing back and forth, but I asked her about the possibility of this interfering with her race. Yeah, right, exactly. So she says to me, to Mark, I wouldn't think it will have any impact on it. The case, meaning the Baldwin case, is about gun safety, not gun control. I still have a job, special prosecuting, which I've been doing since my retirement. She retired as DA. Like every other legislator, my job will just have a little bit more publicity. It's very nice of her. We will make sure hearings are not scheduled during sessions if I am successful in winning the race. I guess the case possibly could give me more name recognition. Who knows? But my job and legislative duties will be completely separate. So, I mean, looking at from the point of view of the DA, the Soros DA, she just offloaded this to a Republican who's busy running for an election. I mean, that's pretty bold, Eric.
It's just slick. I mean,
very slick.
You got to give it to her.
Let me ask something. What Democrat running for election would want this case?
No, I don't know.
No.
Very, very interesting.
It's also interesting that, like, when Garcetti's office, not the mayor's office, his father had the OJ case, Gil Garcetti, he never prosecuted the case. He was in the office and they had the 2 assistant DAs in the courtroom. She's not even doing that. She wants a clean wipeout of her office related to this case. She wants to hand this football off and get off the field, which is amazing after a year. Who knows what skullduggery's been going on in that Santa Fe office? She may leave, and apparently you're right, going to run for attorney general and get the hell out, get out of Dodge and go to,
Yeah. So anyway, and she could take credit for it too. I mean, the beauty is she can just take credit of, I moved forward and look how I handled this in the elegant manner. I'm ready to be at a state level and not just a local level, because I handle problems by bringing in specialists to take care of special things. Blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, here's our chance as an audience. If you're complaining about George Soros getting funding, all these DAs, here's a chance for you to help out Andrea Reeb. If you go to AndreaReeb.com, you can make a donation towards her campaign, which I'm doing. AndreaReeb.com down in New Mexico. I urge all our listeners to send her whatever you want to send her, $5, $50, whatever you can, because I'm doing it. And now's the time to get off your fat ass, including mine, and help out. No, I'm saying this to be straight, and to help out some DAs around the country that you believe represent your values. That's why I mentioned the GSA relationship case. She's prosecuted murderers and everything else, but here's a direct example of some crazy woke crap that she was involved in prosecuting. And if you want, because she gave me the link and everything, I mean, I already asked her if we could donate, and just tell her that I sent you, or America's Untold Story sent you, whatever you want to do. When you go to AndreaReeb.com, there's a link there for donations to her campaign. Totally legit, totally, legal and everything else. So this is a real old school DA who paid her dues and now deserves to get the support of the people. And if anybody out there wants to support this woman, she's a tough cookie, and I'd really recommend you support her, because maybe this is not her first stop on the political trail. Maybe this is just the beginning of a political career, and we can get some victories for our side. Maybe she can end up as Attorney General of the state of New Mexico, if you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, this is a chance for the authors, for the audience, to do something from a show that we're doing on Baldwin, instead of gossip and innuendo and everything else that surrounds this case. Here's a real political chance to put one of your own in office in another state. You may not live in New Mexico. That's not even the point anymore. The amount of money that flowed into Gascon's campaign, 85% of it was outside the state of California when Gascon ran for district attorney here and defeated a black woman named Jackie Mitchell, who was painted as a white supremacist like they did with Larry Elder. This was a totally successful black DA in Los Angeles who was overthrown by outside money. It's time for us to help one of our own, I think, Eric, in the other way. And this could be $5 or $10. This is not a governor's race down there. This is a House race within the state of New Mexico. It's not an expensive race, but it would give some support, and it would really help. And, it would be great to have her come on at some point, or, help us. She put me on the list as a press person, so I'm going to be getting press releases out of New Mexico now from her. So we'll be getting some more inside information for America's Untold Stories. And look, we were cited by the LA Times at one point, Eric, as having the incident. Remember?
Yeah. Now, here's actually one of her cases. I mean, it probably demonstrates it really well. This is in Clovis. What was it? In November 2012, a 1-year-old Clovis woman woke up to find a stranger pressing his hand against her mouth, holding a knife, and threatening to kill her while sexually assaulting and robbing her. Wow. Yeah, she's the real deal. She's got him put away for 40 plus years. Yep.
She's the real deal. Now, getting back to, I just want to so that's AndreaReeb.com. If you want to donate something to her, mention my name and she'll know where it came from. Okay. So there's a movie coming out called Chief of Station, and it's a CIA movie, Eric. And it's about,
of course it is.
It's a chief of station. So it's about a chief of station overseas in Eastern Europe whose love interest is accidentally killed, right? This girl, a woman, is accidentally killed. It's his love interest, and he leaves to find out who murdered his girlfriend accidentally. And then hijinks ensue with the CIA. He's a chief of station. The movie's called Chief of Station. And you say, well, who's playing this role of the chief of station?
Rhymes with
Alec Baldwin.
Yes.
Alec Baldwin is starting to shoot in November a film called Chief of Station about a CIA killing of his wife and the hijinks that ensue from that spy thriller. So keep in mind, this is coming out unless something happens where he can't. Well, this is November. So, I mean, look, unless there's something where he's got to appear in a trial, this movie is going forward. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it is. I mean, I don't foresee anything happening, even if they do charges. By the time it goes to trial, and unless he's out of country or somebody's out of country, I don't know. Even then, I'm sure that dispensation can be made.
Well, so. I mean, as she says in the DA's request, she says they're ready to indict at a moment's notice. I mean, they're ready to go now with the indictments. So I don't know what the trial date may be months off, right? But she really wants to get going now on this thing, I guess, so she can get the hell out of Dodge. But there's some other Alec Baldwin gun news. There's a movie starring Liam Neeson. He's like 70 years old, playing Philip Marlowe in a 30s film noir movie with a woman from Germany named Diane Kruger, who's a great actress. You got a German and a Brit in a American Philip Marlowe
of
film. Of
course, good Americana there.
It's come down to that. We're now using international stars in our films here, domestic films.
It's that foreign labor problem.
Yeah. So, I mean... The Chinese use Matt Damon as like a second or third banana in their film. So, you know what I mean? Just so they can market him here. So I guess it's come full circle now where Liam Neeson is playing Philip Marlowe. However, the point of the matter is Diane Kruger, who's a very good actress, by the way, German actress with American passport, but she's born in Germany, refused to use guns in a film noir shoot 'em up because of Alec Baldwin. So there's an article today. Yeah, it broke today. That's why I'm mentioning it. No guns were used in this movie, just toy water guns. And we're going to see how well this plays out in terms of special effects. And I know there's people out there who think it could be duplicated perfectly, but look, even Public Enemy with James Cagney used Gatling guns, to shoot up walls with real bullets, as many of us recall. In some of the footage from some earlier episodes, we used that footage of bringing in the Army sharpshooter with a machine gun to shoot out the wall behind James Cagney in Public Enemy. So we're now going to enter the new post-Baldwin non-gun Hollywood laser gun or rubber gun era. And this was really the first film I've seen where they're crowing about that. Or she said she was petrified of holding a gun. She said these guns are so old they could kill somebody. The guns they were using in the period piece, 1930s guns, not to be confused with the 1850s guns that Seth.
Right. Those super old 1930s guns that are 60 years newer than okay.
Than the 1850s. But
I mean, look, there's a ton of people who have a World War One, like 1912, 45 that still runs. I don't even know what year it is.
Not only that, I'm sure that Seth and Halyna Reeb's father and all these guys, they baby those guns. It's like the show car people who have cars from the 1930s.
Sure.
They baby those cars. They don't. It's not. They wash them. They grease them. The same with these guns. I mean, these are probably the best.
1911. Thank you.
What's that?
1911. Thank you.
What was 1911?
1911 Colt 45.
Oh, I'm
very
sorry.
famous, gun for.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, I don't know. Seth might be listening right now. I'm curious, Seth, which are safer guns? Revolvers from the 1800s that are in perfect condition, or automatic guns?
Or the German Lugers that were used in 1950 and 52 in the Truman thing, or the assassination of Truman, and then the attack on the House of Representatives, those German Lugers. I wonder, they must be in the Smithsonian or the National Archives, those guns, I presume, with the incredible, wonderful Mannlicher Carcano that Oswald used. That's also in there, but it's a different rifle. So,
and by the way, yes, John, man, what was it? I know that the 1911 Colt is a semi-automatic weapon, but the pistols are generally called automatic, even though they are semi-automatic in their function.
What are you wasting this time talking to this guy for? Jesus Christ.
Now, I'm not a gun expert, but that's one that I kind of remember that you call it automatic. It's not an automatic. It's semi-automatic in its functionality.
There's some link between the spectrum, the autistic spectrum people, and the minutia of guns. And maybe the two should not be together. But there seems to be some sort. You see these guys, whether it's John Hinckley, who, by the way, sold out his T-shirts again. I don't know what's going on with Hinckley, but he sold out. We got to keep up with his merch.
I know, and then you sent me one. How rude! But we at least I'll have to double check. But we did officially, I think, pass John Hinckley's channel.
Thank God.
So we're aiming for Fredo.
I mean, Hinckley's going to come back at us, though. I wondering when he's coming out of retirement, but he may not be coming. I can't
believe you actually asked him that on Twitter.
Well, okay. Look, if he's going to do it now. Don't do it when we get this guy out of office. I mean, come on,
This is true. Okay, he is at 30.5 thousand.
What are we at?
We are at 30.6 thousand.
Wow, it's neck and neck with John Hinckley.
No, we just passed him. Yeah, I mean, folks, you got to stay with us. You got to stay with us here because, he could be catching us anytime. Yeah, we're going for Fredo. Going for Fredo now.
What's Fredo got now? What's his
I don't know. Let's see. Has anybody noticed? I think you brought up before that Fredo's channel is literally the CCP.
I saw. Yeah, that's what I saw that the second it aired. Yeah, nobody even caught that.
Yeah, I think some people in the comments caught it right away. Right. These guys are sharp. He's at 42.5.
Right.
42.5, folks.
Wow. Well, there was a great Project Veritas video released today with a CNN technical person talking about how they're switching from Trump to climate change now 24/7. They're just going to hammer climate change. start after the election coming
I
up.
thought Trump was out of office for some reason.
Well, they're switching to climate change officially. Every single story. I mean, in November, when the hurricanes are happening, would be a great time for them to switch to November. And the guy says, O'Keefe, or one of the guys who were doing it, asked him who ordered this, and he said, the top guy, Mr. Big, whoever that is now. But the fact of the matter is, what did we read about Baldwin selling all these properties this week?
Well, I don't know why he's selling the properties.
Right.
He's selling the Hamptons estate. He's said some weird stuff in interview, like on his Instagram, like, I love this. Everything's coming into challenges. I think that there's some things going on. He could be priming for some settlements. He could be, setting up a whole legal team.
Right.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, but there's some reason that he's moving on this stuff right now. People are automatically going with the whole thing of, he's dumping all his money and hiding it in trust, but you can't hide it. I mean, it's like,
you can't.
No, not like that. But you can raise money for legal expenses. You can raise money for a settlement. All these things are true. I somehow don't think he's raising money to settle with that Marines family.
No, but they were the ones chirping about this, saying, we're gonna, if it's in some LLC or specifically a trust fund for his 95 children spread out.
What was it? 2 weeks ago? I mean, I don't even know what her.
Well, it's now not every 9 months. It's like every 6 months she has another kid, and some incredible, one of the greatest uteruses of all times, Hinckley 9. What is this? Hinckley 9 p.m. CM news show, The Straight Shooter. That's funny. That's funny. Right?
If I see one, I got to put it up again.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Hinckley versus Hunley. I'd like to see that in a Texas cage match.
Don't even start.
And then there's that guy, Jackson Hinkle. There's another guy, Hinkle, Hunley, and Hinckley. I'm really confused by all three of you guys. But Hinkle, Jackson Hinkle, turns out, I saw him on the Duran the other day. Barnes was on the Duran the next day, but I saw Hinkle. Well, he was on the sidebar with the
yeah,
right.
Was.
And then it turns out he's an avowed Marxist. Where I thought, why are we helping these guys have more platforms? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what do we need to help him have another platform? So the Duran has him on, and near the end of the show, they say, well, what's your assessment of American politics? The British Alex. And he says, well, I think DeSantis is the most dangerous man in America. And I'm just vacuuming or something. I'm going, what did he just say? And he goes after DeSantis and the MAGA crowd. And the Alexes were speechless. They didn't know what to say. And I just thought, why are we helping these guys? Like, they don't have enough airtime? Jesus Christ. Cross that guy off the list. Hinkle, whatever. Jackson Hinkle.
Well, like he's going to be on here. But anyway. Okay, so he's selling this estate, and just, I don't know what he's moving everything around.
Yeah. He's moving the chess pieces around. That's for sure. And I don't know. He's got a new company. That other company's dead. The one that
Eldorado's
done. That's a shell company. He's got another production company now. As we discussed earlier on with Robert Barnes when we first got into this thing, these are shell companies that are LLCs that are nothing but shell companies. And he just created another one. Typical Hollywood move. But I mean, if he has to pay out, he's going to have to pay out. I mean, he's got the criminal thing to worry about before he gets to the civil thing, Eric. I mean, just to finish this thought about the charges of her crazy statement, just to say, it says, and each of these charges will probably include some variation of our homicide statutes. Now, I interpret that to mean, this is my interpretation, I'm not a lawyer, various degrees of negligent homicide, 1, 2, 3, going down the line. That's what I think it is. And I think she's going to pick numbers assigned to each person with negligent homicide, 1, 2, or 3. And I don't know what the statutes are in New Mexico, but maybe we could look it up afterwards and find out. I mean, it'll come down pretty soon because they'll be seeking charges for negligent homicide, I believe, or second degree. I don't know. It could be second degree murder for all we know.
I got some word in from Seth here.
Yeah.
Some of the Civil War and original Western era guns kept in prop arsenals are pretty beat.
Oh, okay.
Oftentimes they'll get designated non-fire and for background use only.
Okay, so the reason I mention that is because Luke Nikas, regarding the FBI report, said that gun was fired once and then broke apart. I don't know if Seth, I'm sure he realizes that, Seth, but I mean, that was the quote from Baldwin's attorney. So
Right.
I don't know if that's
Shot
true.
once and broke apart, or twice, because we know it worked one time very effectively, sadly.
Well, I mean, in FBI hands, I'm talking about,
Right.
in FBI control of the weapon. So
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a good question. That
it's
is a good question for Seth. And I don't know if he knows more about the handling, and did they fire were they beating on it, trying to see if they could get it to fire without the trigger being pulled?
Right. They may have been fanning it, and they tend to break a lot of things. The FBI.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's the thing. I know there was the big speculation.
Let me just read the quote from Nikas. This is on ABC News. The gun fired in testing only one time without having to pull the trigger. When the hammer was pulled back and the gun broke in two different places, the FBI was unable to fire the gun in any prior test, even when pulling the trigger, because it was in such poor condition.
You just said without pulling the trigger, it only fired once.
Yeah.
So he's claiming that is true. But what I understand from the FBI reports, they explicitly said that no, it could not fire without pulling the trigger.
Well, he disagrees with that. So we're going to find out.
Okay, well, I disagree with gravity.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, this is his lawyers. I'm just reading the quote from his attorney. They're going to have to go into court and prove that. It says, according to the FBI forensic report released last month, the revolver at the center of this case, as Seth knows, when quote, intact and functional, unquote, could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger, unquote, unless the hammer was, quote, decocked on a loaded chamber, unquote, and, quote, the hammer was struck directly, unquote. This is going to be a battle of experts. And I was wondering if Seth is a defendant, can he also be an expert witness on guns?
I don't know.
Apparently, there's $97,000 in the budget, Seth. If you're not named in this, I would apply to be an expert witness if Seth gets away and doesn't get linked to this thing, which he probably shouldn't.
Okay, he just wrote in on that, by the way.
Okay.
That was the last step of testing, intentionally destructive testing. It would only fire without pulling the trigger, requiring such force. The gun was a brand new Colt Peacemaker reproduction, only ever fired by Baldwin on rust. Brand new, out of the box.
Okay. Why would it break in the FBI hands?
Well, if they're doing destructive testing.
Right.
If they sat there and said, hit a hammer on the hammer, hey, can we get it? Can we get it?
This is an obscure reference, but when the FBI sent back the Oswald rifle to Dallas police from D.C., they had flown it in a fighter jet from Dallas to Quantico. The scope was off. Everything. They did the same thing to the Mannlicher Carcano, and then they had to go over to the funeral home and get Oswald's dead palm print onto the stock of the gun. But that was a separate issue. I mean, we don't know. We do know it's the two girls whose DNA is on.
Yeah, but okay, that's my theory. Right. My theory is that there's four people now. Right. Obviously, Hannah and I believe Baldwin has thrown Seth's name out there as a possible fourth. Just because I'm talking to the guy doesn't mean he's off the hook. But realistically speaking, to me, the laziest, easy approach is there is DNA and fingerprints from four people. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. That's charge them. That technically speaking, they're the ones who handled it each step of the way. So you figure it out and sort out the rest. It's similar to what you said about the bit that happened in Georgia, where they just said, okay, director, producer, cinematographer, whatever, producer, 1, 2, 3, 4. You just boom, throw them all in. You figure it out. I think that's what they're doing.
That's the way it should be done, because you turn it over to the grand jury. The grand jury says there's enough here to indict 3 of them. There's not enough for 4. Or the grand jury says, screw it. Let's indict all 4 of them. Whatever it is, it's up to the grand jury. You just give them all the stuff. I mean, it's kind of rocket science. It's not rocket science. Just here's the grand jury. It's convened. You go, here's everything we got. What do you think? And you go, okay, all 4. We don't know. We got to have a trial. You know, we don't know. I mean, the grand jury is not designed to solve the case. It's designed to see if there's enough evidence to go to trial, right, Eric?
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, the expert witness, well, it probably won't be Seth, obviously, because of conflict of interest. I do wonder if they will have an armorer as a literal, I would think you wanted.
Both sides are going to have armorers. Both sides.
It won't be Thel Reed.
No, it won't be. Well, somebody's going to get $97,000. I'll tell you that much.
No kidding. Okay, here we go. FBI already cleared my PDQ dummy rounds, and the live rounds on Rust didn't match the live reload from Thel.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so what this is about, just to catch people up, there were some accusations thrown around in a suit from Halyna Reeb against Seth Kinney, claiming that
an ongoing suit, by the way.
Oh,
right?
It is an ongoing. Yes,
okay.
I don't. It seems it's kind of out there in the ether. I don't know what's up with it, but Seth can update us on the status. If it's been, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, Thel Reed is claiming that he had a can of ammunition from another movie that they were using for training the actors off-site on ranges that he gave to Seth, and they implied that this live ammo came from Seth and found its way onto the Rust set. Seth is saying that no, the FBI cleared that and that it was not tied to him from what I'm seeing here.
Right. Now, okay, so did we ever find out if Baldwin shot safety rounds in a training course with Halyna Reeb?
I don't think he did. Seth confirm it, but I think Seth told me that no, that he didn't think any training happened.
Okay, I forget. It's been a while since we got that's like episode 61. I think we went over that. But what are we up to? 29 now? How many episodes are we doing this thing?
Was this 25?
This is 25. I was joking. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's 25.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Wow, we're gonna have to get like one of those like antennas with the press pass and stand out front when they have the trial, like with a monitor and everything, so we could cover it, live, and when they do go to trial. Maybe we should go to Santa Fe. Maybe I'll go down there. It's closer for me. I could go to New Mexico, Eric.
True.
Yeah, because I could obviously go to Stanley Moss Courthouse. I've been there many times myself as a defendant. So why not? That's pretty easy.
No, that makes perfect sense. Let me see.
I don't know. I'm sure I'm not so sure. The LA Times is being run by this Chinese guy's daughter now, who apparently has no skills. But
this is from Seth. I'm trying to find my way around it, but this is his handwriting and the boxes, and I guess this is a significant part of it. Folks can read up on it more later, but you could see his handwriting, the dummy rounds. And then there's something in it. And the significance was that they said that every one of Seth's boxes had that handwriting on it.
Oh, I see. Right.
Delineated.
He's covered.
And it's a text exchange between Jason Bowles and the lead detective on the case.
Well, that being said, if Seth is out, is it Zachary, Reed, Baldwin, and Halls? Is probably
they all had fingerprints and DNA. Now I don't know how it will fall, but those are the only four I can think of, unless somebody could be in a pickle. Like, I mean, if you could get some sort of
I forgot about her. She's got a long history of going back to Georgia and some safety situations, right, Eric?
Yeah, and it could be something there. Or
you know what? That would be reminiscent of the Georgia Allman Brothers movie, where you just mentioned they indicted the top 4 people in the movie. You know what I mean? So you're right. Now that I think about it, she is as negligent, if you're going to pass out negligent awards, as anybody else.
Right. The director could be held accountable, except he got shot. We never talk about him.
Right.
But then there's also, and Seth just wrote, and the 4th mystery guest that tampered with evidence. Where the hell did the rounds come from? I mean, that's the bottom line. If they did come from any person,
right,
that's your number one problem there, because they brought a killing up.
Right, but we're not solving. In other words, a negligence trial is not designed to solve the case in terms of some Christie murder on an Orient Express situation. That may never be solved, and still yet people could be convicted of negligent homicide. In my humble opinion, I don't think you really have to solve that crime
True.
Or do you? I don't know. I mean, that's a legal question. I don't really know.
Let me address this real quickly. Should Seth be sharing police texts? If it was private, no, but there's a treasure trove of Rust documentation that has been out, and this is out there. I have it in folders. He's saving me some time by just pointing it out.
We already have this. Yeah, we have tons of folders. This was put out a long time ago. Now, apparently, the sheriff's department is going to file their final report to the DA any day now, is what we're getting at, right? And then she's going to give it to the grand jury, and indictments are going to be handed down. I mean,
they're playing it out there like it could be as soon as tomorrow. And
oh, really? Again with that tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I was actually wondering if it might happen while we are on the show today. Oh, and I'm not kidding, because it's a Friday night dump, right?
Oh, it's a Friday night dump. That's right. It could happen tonight.
We have had news break while we're doing a show, or minutes before the show before, which is
let me tell you something.
Frustrating.
I think it's 4:17 right now in New Mexico time, Mountain Time. So
no. They're Pacific now.
Oh,
no, they're Mountain. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Arizona. Yeah, you're right. It's
crazy.
Mountain.
Come on, wake up here.
Well, 4:17. So they got going.
45 minutes to file for a Friday night news dump, which could happen in this 45-minute window. It's usually the last hour. It's usually the last hour on a Friday.
Yeah, it's just in time for the evening news if they're going to do it, but barely. So they can't really get much into it other than new findings of blah 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 blah.
Right. It's weird because I think October. By the way, good fast for everyone tomorrow. Yom Kippur to my Jewish friends. Today's Yiddish word is Rachmanus, Eric. Rachmanus is the Yiddish word of the day, which means pity or feeling sorry for someone who may be in a tough spot. You could have Rachmanus for Alec Baldwin and still not like him. You can have, I'm serious. Just to give you some context, you know what I mean? You could have pity on the guy,
fair enough,
but not be a supporter of it. Rachmanus is the Yiddish word of the day. And that's for Yom Kippur tomorrow, the Day of Atonement, the highest Jewish holiday of the year. So everybody, you get 1 day to clean up all the crap you did for 364 days, which is an efficient system. It's better than going every single week to go into a room with a priest and make a confession. This is 1 day; it's all over very quick. So
just save up for that day. Make it
save
count.
up for the whole year. The whole year you save up. So I mean, Mickey Cohen had a lot of things to atone for every year. So he did the best he could.
So if you're going to do something, get it over with now, so that way you have a nice clean slate for the next year.
You could do it today. I mean, today would be a great day, and then you atone for it tomorrow. You could go nuts today. I mean, look at this guy Zelensky in Ukraine. I mean, that's going to be some day of atonement for Zelensky. Dear Lord.
Oh God, you can't help yourself, can you? No. Just Jesus Christ.
Okay, so in review, we've got the special prosecutor down in Clovis, which is going to get some, hopefully some campaign contributions from America's Untold Stories. We've got whatever episode this is on Baldwin. We've got Baldwin doing a movie, which I think is in Eastern Europe, from what I understand. I don't think or maybe it's here. What do I know? But no, it sounded like it was an Eastern European thing. By the way,
isn't LA probably a little more dangerous than Eastern Europe?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? You can't make it from here to the courthouse without getting shot at. I have a Kevlar vest. You got to see the stuff I've got. I've got the vest, everything. I mean, I just go out to take out the garbage. I got to put the vest on. I'm not taking any chances. The helmet I leave off because it could be hot out, but the vest, got to wear the vest.
No, for the hair, man.
You don't want the helmet on. You got the earbuds in and you're trying to make it. But yeah, the weaponry keeps increasing. But yeah, I mean, look, this is eventually going to come to some sort of fruition with these trials down in New Mexico. And of course, like you said, the two that'll be here for two of the crew members in Los Angeles. I mean, that'll be a little bit closer for us to cover. But this has taken 1 year of our lives, Hunley, to get to this point, right?
Well, here's the funny thing is it coincided with our show. Our channel got burned down.
That's right.
I think yesterday was the 1 year of our original channel coming out.
Interesting.
And I believe that I built our channel the day after he shot her. Interesting. The new one, or right about that time last year in October. It's like October 22nd or something like that. I'll have to look and check. So it is kind of funny that our channel and sadly this incident line up so exactly. Yep. She died on October 21st. Our channel was built the next day.
Did you suggest to me that the Michael Hutchins case might have been settled, and that's why he was selling off his property?
I don't know. I would never know it. I don't know anything like that.
Okay, because that case would disappear then off the docket. You know what I mean? If they settled out of court, we would hear about that.
I wouldn't know about anything like that.
Right. No, what is that?
God.
I don't know. Okay. Anyway. So all right. So we're going to be hearing. We may have to do another Baldwin Tuesday if this is the case, right? Or.
Yeah. I mean, we want to see what is happening. With everything that's going on, and I was hoping, I'm hoping more stuff may or may not come in. People have kind of reached out to me, but they're a little skittish, a little unreliable. You never know if you're going to hear from them. So,
okay.
Hopefully we'll get some more details. You've come up with a amazing political line there. I'll see if I get an interview with her.
Good one. That's a pretty good one. So maybe we'll get some feedback from her during the case going forward. I don't know. It may be a conflict of interest, but she's running for office and she's as a special prosecutor. I mean, you can't make this up. I mean, I hope it helps her campaign. She seems to think, Andrea, that it'll give her some name recognition, and she's probably right about that. But she's going to have to go up against some real, some real savage people. Those lawyers from LA are going to come down there loaded for bear. This is going to be very interesting.
I think we should try to interview her for locals.
Well, we'll see. I'll text her and see. I didn't want to say that because it may be a conflict of interest.
I know it might be. I mean, that's why we want to try.
But I'll put the letter up, the DA's letter on locals and some other things that I've stumbled onto on the locals page, which is locals.com, unstructured locals. Oh, there it is. Unstructured.locals.com. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I put up some stuff I put up some Mickey Cohen stuff that I had. And
love letters.
Oh yeah, the love letters. Yeah, I as I said I would. Johnny Stompanato, Lana Turner. Oh, there it is. The remember to subscribe button. Yeah, that's the number one thing that Hunley does is that's to put up that remember to subscribe button.
I have one duty, and I occasionally get it right.
What happened to the thing that runs across the bottom, the teleprompter one? Remember you had a thing running. That was brilliant, Hunley. I don't know what you did with that.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to keep it playing the whole damn time.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I see these other people, they come on. Oh, there it is. This is what I like. Breaking news. Ships at sea. Wow.
Anyway, yes, unstructured.locals.com. It is free to follow us there. Right. We put some stuff up, for paid supporters only, but there's plenty of material there all the time.
I agree with you. I don't think other people who have locals put up anywhere near the amount of stuff that we do. I mean, Barnes does, but all the other people, I don't think they come even close to us.
No.
They don't put up anything. I mean, we're putting up documents, secret documents, scripts, studies and everything, photos, tapes, interviews. I mean,
and we try to interact as much as possible. And not only that, though, the most important thing is the community puts stuff up too. The ones who are supporting can post too. And again, please support each other because it just makes it better. I mean,
it's like there's your own private Twitter feed, isn't it, Eric? I mean,
it's kind of like Facebook, really, because you get the post interacting and and everybody.
The key is that it's uncensored. I think that's the main thing, that it's unfiltered and uncensored, and you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of like we're on Rumble right now.
Yes, we do have a feed going on Rumble, which note to everyone, we've had a couple of, unfortunately, shows have been taken down for hours, which are very, very aggravating. But those shows, I had to strip out content to get it back up on YouTube. The entire time they were on Rumble.
Right.
They're still on Rumble.
Yes.
Nothing has been cut out. They're 100% complete.
That's great. That really is great because they have music clips on them. And if you want to see the Grateful Dead episode, which apparently a lot of people did want to see, I'm shocked how many people watched the Grateful Dead episode, and the full episode is what I'm saying is on Rumble without the strip.
And to all the people who have watched the Grateful Dead episode and have noticed different things about it, we are completely aware that the introduction was not from the year that Mark stated. It was actually another year that has been pointed out in the comments dozens of times.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting, because my point was that Bill Graham said that same introduction at multiple Dead shows, but the recording of it is from a particular show. And apparently people cannot understand those two ideas simultaneously. Which is, no matter how many ways I try to explain it, they just keep saying that introduction is from a particular show, which you'd have to use to make the example of him introducing the band. The only thing I'm saying is that Bill Graham said the same thing at 200 shows, but nobody seems to be willing to accept that, which is pretty funny.
As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm putting the link in the chat right now. This is the link on Rumble for this show that is playing live right now on Rumble that people are watching. So
that's cool.
If people want it while you're sitting here saying, oh, let me click that link and just head over there, do that, subscribe, give them some love. I mean, Russell Brand has been, he's switched over there now. Somebody we strive to follow. I would not mind having, 5.9 million.
I would just like to be able to, if we have to have two versions of it, have an uncut version on Rumble, just use Rumble for that at a minimum, Eric, right now.
Well, we are actually.
I know.
So, yeah.
Right. It's becoming that anyway for you and me, because we constantly, like two morons, get hit with these copyright violations, and we don't even know what we did or what happened. We're constantly having to strip this crap out. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it makes sense. But at least there's the record of it on Rumble, which is wonderful.
It is a nice.
I mean, if we just use Rumble for that alone, it's worth the free admission.
Yeah, and it surely has helped when last week and the week before, both Fridays, the show disappeared till 1, 2 or 3 in the morning. I don't know. I was in bed, but somewhere overnight, it finally came back on YouTube. A lot of people did actually get a chance to watch on Rumble, which we, deeply appreciate. I mean, we're just trying to get a show.
If we would have had this for the Elliott Smith stuff right off the bat,
yes,
for Rumble, we could have salvaged it from there, I think,
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
All right, but now we're in bed with Rumble. So, I mean, Viva and Barnes are our friends. And I think next Friday we might have Barnes on, right? Or
Freeform Friday is.
Wait a minute. Next Friday is Freeform Friday.
Correct.
Right. And anything goes in Freeform Friday, right?
Most things go in Freeform Friday.
I mean, any subject matter, it doesn't matter, because
pretty much
it's so funny when you see Barnes at Rumble. It's almost like he's taking his clothes off and set the earth on fire. It completely changes his whole. He becomes Alex Jones as soon as he realizes that they're only on Rumble after the intro. He goes completely loose. It's kind of nice to watch. It's really
he's pretty loose here, folks. Freeform Friday is nothing more than a stream of consciousness between Mark and Barnes, and it's either me by myself kind of going back and forth trying to keep up being the bad guy saying, okay, last call, y'all, or having David here as well, Viva, and us looking at each other, looking at them, and then occasionally David asking an off-the-wall question and setting Mark off, calling a bushy head, and it is a fun evening. I mean,
well, we'll have fun, but Tuesday we may have to go back into this Baldwin thing again, Eric.
We may. We got
to be ready for this. I mean, all hands on deck. This is, what number is this again? 26?
This is 25.
Okay, so that we have 25 in the can after this, and then 26 might be Tuesday. Okay, that we have to be ready for that. There might be some breaking news between now and then, is all I'm saying. Right. And then
maybe
Barnes were good for Friday, so we'll know that. And I just want to thank everybody for the PayPal book fund for the Mickey Cohen books, because that really helped. And the book on Jack Parsons, which I'd like to get to maybe next week. If we don't do Barnes, maybe we could do Jack Barnes. If we don't do Baldwin, maybe we could do Jack Parsons.
Yeah, it'll be one or the other, and it's good to not set it in stone.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff on Parsons. I don't want to sell him. And one thing I told Eric, I mean, I'm still reading about Mickey Cohen from the books that people got through the PayPal book fund for me. And one of the things I learned is that Mickey Cohen's autobiography, which I still haven't bought because it's a rare book, was ghostwritten by a CIA Mockingbird reporter. I did not know that, who redacted all of the names or most of the names that Mickey Cohen said were involved in his lifestyle, meaning studio heads. He hung out with Nixon at one point, Mickey Cohen. I mean, I didn't know this. I mean, and it's redacted from the book. So it's interesting to see the CIA involved with Mickey Cohen. I did not.
There you go. It fits with our show because we love
Yeah,
that.
I did not see that coming. That caught me off guard.
Here's a request from the chat that I think is possible because you know the dude. Velvet Underground. Your family's tied to Lou Reed, right?
That's true. I mean,
So it's possible we may be doing something on Lou Reed later and Velvet Underground or whatever.
Possible.
Okay. Well, I just say,
yeah, Lou Reed. Well, they were the Warlocks too, Eric. Remember the
right. No, I mean,
they were both the Warlocks. Interesting. And then I used to open for a band called the Warlocks, which was a jam band out here in LA that had a lot of people in it called the Warlocks that had a bass player named Jennifer Chiba, Elliott Smith's girlfriend. I opened with my band before the Warlocks at a place called the Garage, which is now called the Virgil, on Virgil, for the Warlocks. And I didn't know at that time that she was in the band because he was still alive.
That's amazing.
I know. Amazing. It's a weird thing.
Well, and by the way, the Velvet Underground, you can't short shrift them either. There was a famous saying that they didn't sell many records, but everyone who bought one started a band.
That could be true.
And I mean, their influence on a lot of rock is not the same as the Grateful Dead, but both of them are very influential bands, both named the Warlocks at one point. It's kind of an interesting parallel.
It is weird. You know, there's all these rock and roll channels out there. I saw one this morning and said, whatever happened to Steppenwolf? And I thought, I don't know, whatever happened to Steppenwolf?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth a show, but it was just a weird question, you know, like, again, if you're able to play the music, it's worth doing it, at least to have it on Rumble. It's just my opinion. It's hard to cover these things without the music. It's kind of silly.
Yeah. You know what? We could do something. We'll figure it out.
All right.
Maybe we'll have to do one of those Rumble exclusive shows or something to cover our ass if we're going to do something. Or
it's silly to have it cut and removed on a Friday night for hours. I mean, it's huge. We lose so many people and so many viewers. It's frustrating. The last week was very frustrating with the Dead show. You know.
Oh yeah.
that was extremely frustrating. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's one thing when we get a copyright claim and we fight it out and it's like fine, but it's still playing. And it's just it's a quibble in the background of the money. But when they block like that and then they block the week before, it's like
it's a setback.
Are you kidding?
All right, okay, so we did this. What do you got now? Oh, Baldwin bucks. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we got some Baldwin bucks. Thank you very much. Linda Welker. Well, that also spinning off the Boozy bucks, which is something else going on. Interesting that the Baldwin's PR group are putting forward as a man who values life, another baby. Well, he is populating the planet single-handedly. I will say that. Yes,
it is true.
And look at this. Secret McSquirrel, our mod, is a member too. Come on.
I love that. Great way to go, McSquirrel.
I mean, good God. She does so much.
Hope you get well soon. Georgina Wilson in the house. Love you too. Thank you. I will mention you, Mark. Oh, please. Andrea Reeb it's Reeb, Reeb. Just so you know, it's not Reed. Andrea Reeb, REEB.com.
All right, remind me later. Maybe I can put it in the description.
Maybe we'll put a link on the bottom. Yeah.
All right.
Super sticker.
Thank you, Sebi.
Part A. What's this?
Call.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Hinkle is confused. He must have some black. That's funny.
He might. I don't know. It is a weird one.
Yeah.
We have somebody here who just donated to Andrea already.
Right on. Way to go. Way to go. We could fight back against Soros. We could fight back. I mean, we don't have to take it up the kazoo. I'm fairly sure that everyone think that Hinkle is just young and he will soon learn about reality. I'm not sure the Alex's thing. I'm just saying, don't.
Oh, that's true. If you think about Hinkle, what is it they say? If you're
how old is Hinkle? 25 or something?
No, like really young. But there's that thing of if you're young and not a liberal, you have no heart. If you're older and not a conservative, you have no brain. Winston Churchill.
Listen, I don't know. We're at war. I don't know. We're at war with Marxists. I don't want a Marxist coming on when we're at war. I mean, I don't care what he grows up to be. God bless the guy. No rock money. That's funny. That's funny.
Let's see. We got. Do you think Baldwin's wife uses a surrogate mother for her children? She
Apparently,
does.
She does.
Yeah, no. She has admitted some of. Well, you could tell because while she's spawning one, there's another one being born at the same time. Like within months. And it's like her gestation cycles would be what, 5 months or 6 months?
Right. Then she's got the phony belly that she bought on Amazon, which apparently there's 20 different kinds.
Well, I'm kind of wondering what's the point here. Is it like, is he trying to get as many in as he can before he dies? I mean, what? I mean, God,
really bizarre. I mean,
it's a reality show.
If he was 35 years old, I could see him doing this, but he's not going to be around for any of these kids. It's probably the most selfish thing a father can do, is to create life and then not be around for them to even be 20 years old.
Yeah, it's
bizarrely selfish, my friend, but it goes with the territory with this cat,
Yeah. For the Groubert spray GoFundMe. Have you got your bear in yet?
Oh, the bear spray you're talking about, or
no? The bear. There is a Groubert.
Oh, I did not receive the bear. Right, I ordered the bear. I ordered a bunch of crap the other day, and
we don't sell crap, folks. This is first-rate merchandise, by the way.
I ordered the Groubert, and somebody became YouTube.
Thank you, TX Gary.
Hold on, let me ask something. Do you have to become a Rumble member? Do they have the same thing? Do they have super things?
No, they have Rumble Rants. And Rumble Rants are cool because, and we've got one actually. Daddy Dragon sent us $5 on Rumble.
Okay.
The Dragon. British Alex from the Duran is a Marxist and a snob. Typical.
Oh, that's terrible. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. He's a conservative. That's outrageous.
Anyway.
Marxist and a snob. What a cheap shot.
Anyway, but the Rumble Rants do take less of a percentage. So if you're giving it to us, we will get more of the actual.
Mark, can you help me out on the locals? I can't get into it. Can I PayPal you? You could do both. You could do both.
Yeah, I mean,
but Eric explains it to you. I think you could go on locals and go to that site, right?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and reach out to me if you're having problems.
Yeah, ask Eric.
Go to erichunley.com/contact and we'll try to work something out. There are some people who don't want to use a credit card or want to use another means to get access. And you know what? We'll figure it out. Even if they have to mail a check to a PO box or whatever. I will do anything I can to help people out on that. I mean, I appreciate the support very, very much. Mitch, watch your Scientology episode. There's a branch here in Manchester, UK. I can take a picture if you like.
No, that's okay. I put up the commercial yesterday on Locals. I don't know if you saw it, of Karen Bass speaking at the Church of Scientology around the corner from me, that Caruso is now running, who is running for mayor against her. Brilliant commercial. He is saturating the LA market with it. It's in the Dodger game 20 times a game. It's all over LA. I put it up on Locals if anybody wants to take a look at this brilliant commercial by Rick Caruso, who is running for the mayor's spot in Los Angeles against Karen Bass, an avowed Marxist, by the way, and apparently a Scientologist. I don't know how that works, but she goes on and on speaking in front of Scientology, how great they are and how great Hubbard is in the commercial. All I did was tape it and put it up on Locals. If you guys should take a look at that.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Here.
What?
Let's look at Locals.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, people, we keep talking about it. We never show it.
Oh, there's the stuff I put up yesterday. There's the Mickey Cohen. That I don't know. But that commercial right there with Karen Bass is devastating to her campaign. I mean, she is full-throatedly endorsing Scientology, and a brilliant move by Rick Caruso, who could also use support, although he's got $28 million already spent in the race.
Now, Pasha sent me a link saying that he put something on Locals himself. So I'm trying to find that. Hold on.
A lot of people in the audience put stuff on Locals all the time.
Well, that's why it's such a good thing is we have.
And it's untouchable by outsiders. Nobody can touch your stuff.
Exactly.
Get in there. How many people do we have in there now, Eric? How many members do we have?
We have one
followers. What does it say? Like 5,000 or 6,000?
We've got 7,000 and change, and we've got 1,100. Actually, this is what it looks like as a member.
Okay.
We've got over 1,000 people who are supporting us, and I deeply thank you for that. And we have over 7,000 that are following, which is free. So over 7,000 members.
Wow.
And as you can see, we're always putting things up. Like I make sure that the show is up. So you can see
we don't
the
just,
latest this
you
year.
know, people are hassling us saying you're only doing the show twice a week, but we're doing this all week. We're doing the locals thing internally all week. So, and so is Barnes and Viva, but you know, they're on once. I mean, Viva's on every 5 minutes, but Barnes and Viva are on once a week, you know, with their show, right? But they're doing stuff all week also on locals. And so are Eric and I.
Well, and also keep in mind, you know, Mark has to do a ton of research study, things like that. So this is the one with Mark, but I also today did this show. I did another show here today. I do a show every Saturday on my own here.
Can you push that button to show the ad or no? That you're just scrolling. You can't do it.
Well, I can show anything. What do you want? This one here?
That Karen Bass ad. Yeah. Can you push that button?
Yeah.
Oh. Woohoo! Look at this, Eric. Look at this crazy crap.
I look forward to helping you bring about the difference for everyone in the city and from the nation to the world.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Anyway, there's all kinds of stuff here. That's
I put up the Woodstock 2 photos last night. Those are my photos from the second Woodstock. I didn't have anything from Watkins Glen. I don't think cameras were invented back then.
Why am I only seeing? I'm not seeing from everybody else, so I'm trying to find Pasha's.
Right.
Because I mean, we have this is all of our stuff here. Here we go. Here's some.
There's some
putting things in here.
Okay.
And see, this is where people who are supporting us are posting themselves. And,
right. I got you. I see what you're
doing. And I want that. I mean, I want as many. And here's the show I did yesterday.
Right.
And Justin Morris posts a lot. Lily out of I think
there's somebody from Miscavige and Mike Rinder. That's interesting. Somebody.
Yeah, it's a Sherry Smith sharing Scientology stuff, adding on.
Right.
Sean Brim posts quite a lot. Talking about Coolio dying.
Oh, Coolio booster shot. Yeah, booster.
Smedley Butler, some more stuff in here. Anyway, this
interesting.
Is really,
anyway, you get the idea.
This is great stuff from everybody, and
you get the idea. This is a fun place to hang out. But the subscriptions really help us too, because if we can get the subscription numbers to 50 or 75,000, we could start to really separate ourselves from the pack. And the problem is Eric and I point out, is we do so many different topics that it doesn't fit the algorithm of YouTube. So we really need you to go out of your way to subscribe and hit the notifications button, because you may just have JFK stuff in your feed from us and not know about Mickey Cohen, for instance, or not know about Baldwin. That's just the way their system is set up. I don't know if it's the same with Rumble, but unless you subscribe to the channel, you're just going to get the same stuff in your feed day and night that you're not going to know about the other subjects, is what I mean.
Oh, yeah. And even then, you might not get it. Let me see. Cat's Crazy Life. Baldwin could turn into a runaway train any moment.
What do you mean? Like escape on a runaway train, or?
I don't know. The trial could go nuts.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Eli McInnes, super sticker. Thank you.
Super sticker.
Sparty Matt, who I think is the history teacher.
Right.
You need to have Kyle Dunnigan on to do his Baldwin. I actually reached out and tried to pay and hire him to do an Alec Baldwin impersonation, because he has a cameo.
Right.
But it's for like another character. And I was hoping he had a Baldwin cameo, and I was going to hire him to trash us. Because
I hear he does bar mitzvahs as Baldwin, but it's like so expensive. But it may be worth it for your kid to get him to do Baldwin.
Well, if you get him to do it for the Baldwin family, would that be a better deal? Because you have more kids to amortize it.
That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids.
Here's our logo.
Oh, Pasha's back.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to figure that out. We'll look later. I'll find that. Hopefully, I was trying to. Now it's just not showing up on the scroll.
Weed. I remember her. She lives up near Acadia National Park. I thought she was a weed girl smoking weed. I was completely wrong. She is into planting or something, or composting up there in New Hampshire, where I've been to the White Mountains and Acadia National Park, one of the great national parks in America. It's right across from the ocean, but it's in deep woods, kind of like Big Sur on the West Coast State Park, Pfeiffer, Big Sur State Park, Acadia National Park. Pfeiffer is a state park, but Acadia National Park, absolutely fantastic, except for the horseflies that are the size of bats.
That's a big problem.
Do you prefer me to subscribe on the Bloodsucker YouTube?
Locals, join Locals.
Yeah, that's
and Locals is awesome. It's again $5 a month, $50 a year. And 50 a year would be nice, just in the sense that we know you're there, and it always can be a pain with a rebilling or whatever. But whatever, we'll take anything, and thank you again.
It's free too. You don't have to pay.
You don't have to pay. You can look around, and then if you choose to support, go for it, please. And by the way, subscribe on YouTube. It's free. I mean, just subscribe.
Wearing his Eric Hunley show. Look good. I'm going to wear my John Hinckley shirt tomorrow, which I am sent away for.
Did you actually buy one?
No, I did not, but I
Good
will.
God, you psycho.
I really have to get one. I really do. Love you guys.
You guys, entertainment on the budget. Thank you very much.
Right. This is pretty cheap. There's something creepy about celebrities using surrogates.
Yeah. Well, you got to give her credit. She does it too. So they're doing it for time or something to get as many kids out as possible.
Right.
But yes, there are things about wearing the prosthetics and whatever. So they don't
I don't understand who you're trying to fool.
Well, it's because then they can look like they actually carried a baby to term, but then have a perfect
she
body.
Has carried a baby to term.
I know.
I'm baffled by this.
Whatever.
I'm baffled by the Spanish phony accent thing. The whole thing's baffling.
My link, a comment to your spot for this episode.
Oh, okay. Right.
Awesome.
This number's 218. Rockweed girl. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry if I offended originally with the bong, but I thought weed and rock was some sort of a thing.
Yeah, what is it? Oh, yeah. On to the important stuff.
What do you got?
Oswald. Always start with Oswald.
His dog. Yeah, the chocolate-faced dog. Raisinette. Looks like a giant raisinette on his head. Like a raisinette into a bale of ice cream.
All right, these are brand new. This is actually a running shirt.
Okay, that looks pretty good.
The logo's a little smaller, but then you don't want a sticky logo on your chest.
You know what? I ordered the duffel bag.
Oh,
with
okay.
With the logo on the outside of the duffel bag. So that's interesting. And I ordered the bear. Well,
good.
I don't know. And I ordered the Grateful Dead shirt, the light blue one you were showing. I ordered that same shirt. That looks pretty good. That's better than the dog. I don't care.
No, it's not better than the dog. Nobody's better than
that tie-dyed shirt, because that's the one I ordered, Eric.
This one just came in.
That's the one I ordered. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I could wear that to a Dead and Company if they have that or whatever. A Fish concert, I could wear that to Fish, right?
Or wear it around the neighborhood. They love hippies.
Neighborhood, here they wear it all the time.
All right. Does Mark have any fun details on the USS Maine? I teach that lesson next week. LOL.
I really don't. I kind of never really got into the USS Maine, but I know you're supposed to remember the Maine, so I forgot it immediately.
John Yarber signed up for 3 months on the locals. Thank you.
Oh, Yarber in the house.
See you in there.
Oh, Yarber. Touche. Nicely played, Yarber.
Totally. All right. I'm sure I run 1 cent miles a day. Yeah. Thank you.
That's funny.
Is a running shirt like a running joke?
Well, you said it's like rubbery, or
it's not rubbery. It's called they're called technical tees.
Right.
That if you have here's a dirty secret about running. If you have like a normal t-shirt, cotton t-shirt,
yeah, go on.
And you're doing a lot of running or whatever, you get chafed nipples. It hurts very badly. Is that
true? Chafed nipples? Hold on.
I've had it. Yes, it's quite painful.
Hunley got chafed nipples and resorted to buying this other type of shirt.
Well, because they've got a smoother texture.
I understand. You don't have to get into it with me. I perfectly understand.
Okay.
Nobody wants chafed nipples if they can avoid it.
No, chafed nipples suck.
All right.
And don't suck on the chafed nipple.
Suck the chafed nipples, obviously.
I knew that was coming. Though.
Right.
I was trying to beat you to it.
You just set it up, and it was just too easy.
Yeah, of course it is. Raj Nath, Australian fight. Nice. Yeah, $7.99. Thank you very much.
You got a lot of followers in Australia, Eric.
We do. I love talking to Tomorrow.
There's a lot of followers in Australia and in Indonesia, of all places, and obviously the Scandinavian countries for reasons that escape me.
It's great.
Norway and Denmark, obviously.
They care more about American history than American.
Somebody asked me about what to do with Australia, and I said there's got to be one going since okay. I said they've got to start their own Australian untold stories. I don't know the stories of Australia.
I would love
I
that.
mean,
if
I
somebody
barely
did.
know these stories. I mean,
But it'd be cool if somebody did, though. You know,
that would be
just,
great. That would be great. That would be great. And they bring
England's
they have them
untold
on
stories.
our show. We have like an annual meeting of the other nations.
Wouldn't it?
that have
Yeah,
untold stories. That would be a great goal.
I think so. I love that.
Right?
I mean,
Scandinavian untold stories. That would, who knows what their stories are?
Well, if it's anything like their death metal or their black metal stories, ooh, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know about that?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. It does some dark stuff.
Yeah,
and if that was in America, we would be covering that story probably.
It's funny because I put up a photo of Woodstock 2 and I realized the photo was of Metallica on stage in the middle of the day. They were the headliners, Metallica of all groups for Woodstock 2.
Hey, you know Woodstock 2?
I would never have thought that. I thought maybe Arlo Guthrie, but no, Metallica.
Have we thought about doing McAfee?
McAfee's been done. In fact, Amanda Milius is coming out with a McAfee documentary in a month.
Well, the documentary's out.
It's out. Okay.
And my footage is in it. I've interviewed John.
Where is
McAfee.
the documentary? Where is the McAfee doc?
It's on Netflix.
Okay. All right, got it. By her. By her.
No, she bought the doc and the rights, and she's doing a feature film.
That's what I mean. When is that coming out?
I don't know when her feature film is, but her documentary, you know, that she bought and got is out on Netflix already.
Wait, is this the Amanda Milius McAfee documentary?
She's not doing a documentary, from what I understand. She's doing a live
Barnes
action.
said yes. Barnes yesterday said on the Duran that she is. That's why I'm asking you.
Okay, well, I'll have to see it, but I think she's doing a docudrama. I don't think she.
I have no idea.
From what I understand by the deal, she bought the documentary that was done and the rights of Mark Eglinton, who I've interviewed as well.
Okay.
And is doing like a film on him, but I don't know. I know that that Netflix has.
That's a separate project, though. Netflix, you're saying that's a separate thing.
Well, I think she owns it. So
we'll have to
anyway,
we'll talk about it afterwards. I'm a little confused.
Anyway, either way, my interview's in the middle of it, or just past the middle.
Okay.
A little clip. And if I can say I've appeared on Netflix because you can see me in the reflection of his glasses. It's kind of funny.
Okay. Hunley's on Netflix. Check it out this weekend. Let
me see. No, Earth's most interesting stories.
Earth's most interesting story. You mean like climate change or earthquakes, volcanoes?
I guess anything on the
natural
planet.
disasters. That could be a subject.
Sure.
American natural disasters. I mean, we have them too. Look at Florida, right?
Look at LA.
Look at LA. We're ready for the big one at any moment.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're creating a disaster yourself.
Can you imagine how big of a disaster it would have been if Florida was mostly electric cars trying to get out and the grid's gone and they're not all fully charged? Like all of these stupid analysis that, hey, you can go 800 miles on a fully charged car. Not everybody's car is fully charged at the exact same moment. I always laugh at these analysis talking about how far you can go on an electric car.
Well, what about in California where they want everybody to go to electric cars, but you don't have a grid that can hold them?
Right. Well, it's a separate issue, but I'm saying not every single car is fully charged at every single moment of the day. So if the grid goes down, some huge percentage of cars are not going to be able to escape whatever the cataclysmic event is what I'm saying.
Agree.
All right.
But I mean, what do you want?
Right.
People aren't necessarily that bright.
Some guy posted, I put this up about Florida yesterday, and they said, hey, a Prius and a 5-gallon can of gas can get you 800 miles. And I'm going, right, everybody's got a fully charged Prius and a 5-gallon can of gas waiting just in case there's a hurricane.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, for now, I'll be doing a show tomorrow evening, my grill stream. It's just a laid-back show on locals.
Laid back.
Exclusive to locals.
I'll be reading Mickey Cohen's autobiography. I want to get to the bottom of this CIA connection.
There you go. And we'll be doing some show on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll do something.
We'll see what's coming up.
We'll come up with something interesting. So stick with us. We'll pull this one out of our asses. Sometimes the ones we pull out are the best shows. Right. It's kind of interesting. But have a good weekend. Well, it's not a good weekend, is it? Yeah. Friday night. Yeah. It's about weekend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll see you on Tuesday, right?
See you then.
Okay.